The country has already completed 3 weeks of nationwide lockdown. The people in the country have so far adhered to the government directive by largely staying inside their homes, barring a few instances. Given the scenario, it is speculated that the extended week of nationwide lockdown is going to be crucial in our fight against novel coronavirus. Good morning, I am Amar Singh Pradhan and these are the headlines of the hour. Government extends the nationwide lockdown by 12 days amid fear of community spread of coronavirus. All domestic and international flights suspended until the end of April. PCR test confirms COVID-19 cases in 2 Kathmandu residents, taking the total infection tally in the country to 16. Medical team failed to conduct more tests in the Sun City apartment. A majority of Nepali nationals who returned from India yet to undergo COVID-19 test. Government sends a special team to the region to intensify the test. And US President Donald Trump alleges WHO of failing in its basic duty in its response to the coronavirus outbreak, directs his administration to halt funding to the UN body. The government has extended the nationwide lockdown by 12 days, which is until the 27th of April. The meeting of the Council of Ministers held at the Prime Minister's official residence, Balwatar, yesterday afternoon decided to extend the lockdown period until the 27th of April. The government had first imposed the nationwide lockdown on 24th of March in a bid to prevent the spread of COVID-19 infections in the country. Meanwhile, 16 people have tested positive for the novel coronavirus in the country as of now. Yesterday's cabinet meeting has also decided to suspend all domestic flights until the end of April, along with the closure of all the border transits with India. The high-level committee formed to contain the possible coronavirus outbreak in the country earlier had decided to suspend all international flights until the end of April. 2 members of a family in Kathmandu have been infected with coronavirus. The sample of the 3rd member has been collected for retest, and with this, the confirmed cases of COVID-19 in Nepal have climbed to 16. The Health Ministry yesterday confirmed the COVID-19 infection on the 81-year-old woman and her 58-year-old son at Sun City apartment in the capital's Kandagari. The sample of the daughter-in-law in the family has been collected again for reconfirming the test. All 3 members of the family had returned from the UK on the 18th of March. They were admitted at Patton Hospital on Monday after they tested positive through the rapid test kit. The samples were tested again in the Teku-based laboratory, which confirmed their COVID-19 infection. Following the confirmation of the infection, the ministry has started tracing the people who came in contact with this family. There are 5 blocks in the apartment with almost 500 families. The local administration sealed the apartment on Monday and restricted all the mobility. However, the sample testing of the people residing in the apartment has not started yet. Locals in the apartment have informed that officials from the ministry have not approached for any more testing. According to the latest report of the Health Ministry, 387 samples have been tested in the National Public Health Laboratory and 187 samples were tested in laboratories outside the valley. A total of 6,299 samples have been tested so far in the country. Likewise, a total of 6,607 samples have been tested through rapid test kit, which has shown positive result in many places. The emergence of 2 COVID-19 cases inside the capital has sparked fears of coronavirus outbreak, while also calling for tighter security mechanism and more effective precautionary measures to contain the virus from spreading. The Kathmandu Valley was earlier speculated as being comparatively safe due to travel ban from outside and that no new cases of COVID-19 were detected in the country for an interval of 2 weeks. However, after the detection of 2 new cases and 1 more sample sent for retesting from the same family in Kathmandu-based apartment has raised alarm among the capital's residents, thus leading to tighter security measures. The infected individuals have, however, claimed that they were staying in isolation in the apartment itself after returning from the UK.
हामीले हिजो नै प्रारम्भिक जानकारी लिएका छौं उहाँहरु आएदेखि नै उहाँहरुको भनाइ अनुसार त्यही अपार्टमेन्टमा बस्नु भएको छ र क्वारेन्टाइनमा बस्दा अपनाउनु पर्ने सम्पूर्ण कुराहरु 3 जना हुनुहुन्थ्यो, 3टा छुट्टै कोठामा बस्नुभएको। अनि उहाँलाई सहयोगीहरूलाई पनि भित्र नराखेर सहयोगी मार्फत सहयोग चाहिँ लिने, तर कन्ट्यामिनेसन नहुने हिसाबले चाहिँ गरेको व्यवहार अथवा चाहिँ डेली एक्टिभिटी गरेको भन्ने उहाँहरूबाट जानकारी प्राप्त।
Meanwhile, security personnel have been deployed at the apartment and the building has been completely sealed, restricting movement in the apartment premises and the surrounding areas as well. The restriction will be in place until the tests are carried out on more than 1,700 residents of the apartment. According to the police, they have already started tracing for the people who were in contact with the infected individuals. Following the detection of new coronavirus cases, the public in general are speculating on how would the government move ahead with the further lockdown measures. Experts are of the view that maximum vigilance on the part of the public and the security mechanism is necessary to prevent any catastrophic virus outbreak in a populous place as the capital, which has so far remained apparently under control. With the increase in the cases of infection, it is crucial to increase not just precautionary measures, but the rate and parameters of the coronavirus test as well. The government has so far collected 5,641 samples from the far western region for coronavirus test. The swab samples of almost everyone in quarantine in the region have been collected. A majority in quarantine has also been sent home after they tested negative for the virus. However, the samples of a majority of Nepali nationals who have returned from India to the far western region and refused to stay in quarantine have yet to be collected. As per the government's records, more than 21,900 Nepalese who entered the country from India have been identified but have dispersed in all the 9 districts of the far western region. Although thousands of Nepali nationals entered the country from India, more than 1,600 people from Kailali, Kantipur, Baitari and Darchula are still stranded at the other side of the border as they are yet to undergo coronavirus test despite completing their quarantine period. Meanwhile, the local authorities are preparing to send the stranded people to their respective districts after necessary health screening. The government is preparing to deploy a team comprising 33 members in the country's far western region as this region is at high risk of coronavirus outbreak. According to Health Director of the far western region, Dr. Gunaraj Awasthi, the special team is to be deployed in the region to expedite the coronavirus test, which experts have termed as mandatory to contain the possible outbreak. It's been anticipated that the region must have unidentified community spread of the novel coronavirus since thousands of people returned to their homes in the region from India without undergoing screening at the border transits. To make the matter worse, more complicated, many suspected of contracting the virus have violated the quarantine measures. This has led to the speculation that the virus might have spread among communities in the far western region. 5 people have already tested positive for coronavirus in the region. Meanwhile, among the 4,700 samples tested in the far western region, the reports of 3,065 have been unveiled. Among them, 2,300 had undergone the rapid diagnosis test and remaining 756 individuals were tested through the PCR process. None of the individuals tested with the rapid diagnostic test have tested positive for coronavirus. The government has extended the nationwide lockdown to prevent the spread of coronavirus in the country. This has significantly led to the plight of daily wage workers who are now facing difficulties even to make ends meet, as most of them are forced to go without food for themselves and their family members. Remaining without food for long has been a worrying factor for daily wage workers rather than the fear of contracting the coronavirus. Many such workers have been to Kathmandu and other urban areas from their home districts. They have now resorted to taking a very long and arduous journey back home merely for survival. Although the government has urged the public to remain indoors unless for very urgent cases, highways across the country recently are seen full of pedestrians striving to reach their homes in distant villages irrespective of hunger, thirst and other surrounding difficulties. Even children are compelled to accompany their parents or elders in these long and difficult journeys. The government had decided to provide relief to the daily wage workers on 29th of March in a bid to address their plight at the time of this very challenging situation. The provision has, however, failed to get effectively implemented as a majority of the local representatives merely resorted to show off rather than facilitating relief for the people who are in dire need of help at this crisis time. And it's now time for our segment Public Pulse, where it texts us with their opinion.
Public Pulse.
And the question is, what is necessary to do away with the plight of people returning homes by walking long distances? Options are option A, support of local levels, option B, coordination by provincial governments, and option C, manage them where they are. The voting for the question is on. Tap any WS, select your option A, B or C and send it to 34001 to share opinion with us. And let's move on to sports update.
Sports news.
The English club Bournemouth have reversed their decision to furlough staff members, the club has announced. The club's director said that criticism of the decision had led to change their stance. They are the third Premier League club to change their mind about furloughing staff during the coronavirus crisis, following Liverpool and Tottenham. Issuing a statement, the club has said that it has listened to supporters and has decided to reverse the decision to furlough employees. On 1st of April, the Cherries placed a number of staff on paid leave by using the government's furlough scheme. The club has claimed that these measures were not taken lightly given the operational pressures placed on clubs in such uncertain times. However, the club has added that it is aware of criticism leveled at Premier League clubs applying for this scheme. Bournemouth manager Eddie Howe became the first Premier League boss to take a voluntary pay cut during the ongoing coronavirus pandemic. Assistant boss Jason Tyndall, Chief Executive Neil Blake and Technical Director Richard Hughes have also taken significant pay cuts amid the crisis. Newcastle United and Norwich City are the only remaining Premier League clubs to have announced they will furlough some non-playing staff. And those were our latest headlines. Stay with us for more news and entertainment on KTVSD. Good day and stay safe.